Welcome to Ultimate Playlist. I'm Matt, that's Briggs, and this is a show where Briggs and I get together to create the top 10 playlist around a theme. Neither one of us knows the songs that each other chose, so it'll be a little bit of a surprise for us as we go. Now, today's theme is the Ultimate Yacht Rock playlist, so this is the songs that we want to hear when we're hanging out on our respective yachts. Yachts. Ready to get going, Briggs?
Yeah, let's do it. My number 5 for my Yacht Rock Ultimate playlist is Baby Come Back by Player.
Spending all my nights, all my money, going out on the town, doing anything just to get you off of my mind. But when the morning comes, I'm right back where I started again. And trying to forget you is just a waste of time. Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
So
Excellent.
smooth.
Excellent choice there, Briggs.
Thank you. I like that one. That's mildly deep cut. It was a big song though.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
number one on Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I forgot the name of the band, though. I don't think I would have pulled that it was Player. A lot of these bands,
yeah.
a lot of these bands are a little bit on the DL in terms of like knowing who they are. At
Totally.
least,
I recognized a lot of songs, and I was like, oh, I had no idea who sang that one.
yeah, for sure. But that's a good one. Of course, it's like one of those that you know all the lyrics to, even if you don't even
Sure.
know who the song is. But yeah, that's a great one. I found like there's different. It's kind of hard to peg what a yacht rock song is. It's sort of
Yeah.
like, where does it become adult contemporary? Where does
Right.
it become too groovy? You know,
Right.
where's there too much rhythm? And so I kind of that one that feels a little bit on the more like groove, like the more groove side of things.
Oh, okay. I try to do it based on smoothness, and that song feels real smooth.
That does feel
To
real
me
smooth.
anyways.
Well, we might have a different list then
I
because
think smoothness is okay.
yeah, I don't.
Go ahead.
I didn't get as smooth as there was a little bit of smooth, but I didn't go all the way smooth. So maybe we have some different ones on our
I
list.
see.
Cool. Ready for the next one?
Yeah, you're number 5.
Yeah, my number 5 in my Ultimate Yacht Rock playlist is "Biggest Part of Me" by Ambrosia.
There's a new sun rising. I can see a new horizon that will keep me realizing you're the biggest part of me. Did you love and here beside me? Did you close enough to guide me? I've been hoping you would find me. You're the biggest part of me. Well, make a wish, baby. Well, and I will make it come true. Make a list, baby, of the things I'll do for you. Ain't no risk now in letting my love rain down on you, so we could wash away the past, so that we may start anew.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, and so that was the example of me allowing the groove to really, the smooth groove to really set in.
Sure. It's still very smooth though, so it hits my criteria.
It does
as
hit
well.
your
This was in my list of tunes that I was listening to for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, the other, like, I thought about this song a bit too. I wouldn't have pulled Ambrosia either.
Yeah, me either.
very familiar with the song. And of course,
Sure.
They had How Much I Feel is like the other one that we
Yep.
would know. How much I feel for you, babe, whatever that one. But like this one to me was a little bit on the edge of too much R&B, too much shuffle. So I was still,
Oh, okay.
I was still getting pulled in that direction. And I was like, I don't know if this is yacht rock anymore, but it hit number 5
I
for
think
me.
it is. I think it counts.
Yeah. The other thing is like, but I was thinking about it too when I was like, why I like this song so much too. And it's like the verse could also be a chorus. It's like every section is kind of a hook.
A lot of hooks, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of hooks. And even in the you listen to the bridge, and it's super interesting how they wrote it. But anyway, so that's my number 5, Biggest Part of Me by Ambrosia from 1980.
Ooh. Well, here's my number 4. It's I feel like this is borderline yacht rock. It's a little earlier than most of my other ones, but it's very smooth. Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts.
See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening of a Friday night. Little light is shining through the window, lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind.
Excellent choice.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm a sucker for anything with a toy piano in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it has some cool tones in there. This is like kind of pre-yacht rock too. This is very early on,
absolutely.
1972.
Correct.
Yeah.
Went to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, look at that. I know it was it was a big one. They had a few, Seals and Crofts had a few big hits, like Diamond Girl was the other one that I knew. I was thinking about it like
definitely huge.
Yeah, it was huge. I was thinking about like Diamond Girl, and how I was introduced to it. Actually, in high school band, we were doing our halftime show, like the football halftime show, marching band. We played this song. We did like this.
Oh, weird.
Like early 70s revival thing, and Diamond Girl was part of it. Not this one. Diamond Girl was part of it.
The other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Summer Breeze, though, has made a little bit of a resurgence recently. Mr. Bungle has been covering it on their recent tour, which is kind of out of left field, but they did a pretty straight version of it for the most part. I saw them recently. It was really good.
Did they do this at the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like when they did Easy Like Sunday Morning. It's like one of those.
Yeah. Well, that
things.
was Faith No More, but yeah.
Oh, it was Faith No More? I didn't realize it wasn't Bungle.
Nope. But yeah, the Summer Breeze is definitely Mr. Bungle, and it was pretty good. It was pretty straight. They put their flavor in it a little bit, so
he can totally like milk it too.
He can do anything.
Ham it up.
He definitely did.
Nice, that's a good one. So my in my ultimate playlist for yacht rock songs, my number 4 song is "Sailing" by Christopher Cross.
It's not far to Never Land. Reason to pretend. If the wind is right, you can find the joy of innocence again. Oh, the candles can do miracles. Just you wait and see. Believe me. Sailing takes me away to where I've always stood it. Just a dream of the wind to carry me. Soon I will be free.
Chris
That's a
Cross.
pretty good one. Yeah. That one doesn't make you jump. That one
No,
makes you sail.
it doesn't. The Daddy Mac does not make you jump. So
That is among the most yachty of yacht rock songs, I feel like. It's like quintessential.
yeah, I'm like wondering for how many people that would actually be number 1 on their list.
Right. I purposefully avoided that one because I figured you might pick it, but also it's definitely needs to be on a yacht rock playlist, and I'm glad you chose it.
Is it because you know my affinity for Christopher Cross?
I didn't know you had that much of an affinity for Christopher Cross.
Some of my earliest memories are singing this damn album.
Oh, okay. So it has to be on your ultimate playlist then.
Yeah, like my parents loved this album. I mean, it's such a good one too. Like it's there's like it's like recorded really well, and he's just got such a cool voice. And I know Christopher.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. It's heavily orchestrated. He's very
absolutely.
talented too. He's a very talented guitar player. And musician just in his own right. But he also had a lot of monsters around him too, that for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason, like you had Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald and like a bunch of other really known and very good artists who were participating on this album. Yeah, it was. It was. But like...
Did you ever see... Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, did you ever see that web series called Yacht Rock? It's probably got to be 15 years ago now. But it was an early like internet web series where it was a bunch of guys playing Michael McDonald and whoever else, and the guy someone plays Christopher Cross, and they did like a kind of a comedic 5-minute web series about how these yacht rock songs came to be. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
That sounds very familiar.
It holds up.
Yeah.
It holds up. I watched it in doing my research here. I'd seen it back in the day, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I saw it a long time ago too, but it would be worth.
It gets ridiculous the further on it goes, but there's a lot of actual historical stuff in there too. It's pretty good.
Yeah, cool. I sort of wondered what happened to Christopher Cross because he had this like 3-year, like just giant couple of years of he had something like 3 or 4 Grammys for this album. Yeah, and then another Grammy for the Arthur's theme, "When You Get Lost Between the Moon and New York City."
Oh,
I don't know
right.
if you know that one. Mm-hmm. He wrote that with Burt Bacharach, and that won a Grammy too, and an Oscar. And like he sold a ton of albums, but then like this was 80 through maybe 83, but then by 1984, he was kind of like his second album only sold like less than 1 million after this one, and sold something like 10 million.
That's weird.
And I guess
maybe the smoothness kind of moved in towards the 80s, and because this was what 79.
This is 80 through it was like he wrote it in 79, released I think in 80. But also MTV was 84 too,
right?
And this type of music doesn't necessarily lend itself to video interpretations.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
Unless it's some sort of spoof parody.
Sure. Well, that's different, right?
But anyway, I love me some Christopher Cross. This has got Ride Like the Wind on it. This is just Never Be the Same
it's a good
Again.
album.
Yeah, people probably think it's cheesy, and I understand that. In fact, there's a lot of cheese on this list, but in terms of like musicianship and songwriting, it's really quite decent.
I feel like cheese is a decent part of yacht rock, anyways. Or what we call cheese now. I don't know if it was called sincerity then. I guess.
I guess so, right? But cool. Shall we move on to your number 3?
My number 3 has a little bit more of a beat to it, but it's still all those same dudes from the same era. It's "You Make My Dreams" by Holland Oates. Thanks. I had to include some Holland Oates on mine. I mean, this might not be the most yachty of yacht rock songs by them, but I like it.
That would be my pushback. Is this their yachtiest of songs? Because there is Sarah Smile too, which is definitely a chiller one.
Yeah, I know. I didn't pick that one on purpose. I like this one more.
Oh, I love the song.
But the other, I feel like the other one is a little more yacht forward.
This is my favorite Hall. I love Hall & Oates, but this is my favorite Hall & Oates.
Yeah, they're good.
This has got like one of my favorite lyrics in here too. It's right in the beginning where he says like the flame that burns the candle, but the candle feeds the flame. Such a great, such a beautiful, beautiful lyric. Like totally gives you the depiction there. But yeah, I love me some Holland Oats.
They had a video for this one.
Did they? Oh yeah,
yeah.
Isn't it like a live?
It's just kind of them bopping around. Yeah, they're in like a room, jamming out or whatever.
Yeah,
and
doing their Holland Oats stance, kind of like this.
Yep. Pretty much.
Is Hall's house? Is that what it is? Is that still
Daryl's
on?
house.
Daryl's house.
Live
yeah.
at Daryl's house. I don't know if it's still on. But that was a good one.
It was so good, and he had some of these like. If the audience doesn't know, it was basically Daryl Hall would have bands in. And like he would play their songs, and they would play like one of his songs, and they would perform together.
And I think they literally came to his house. They did. Right? Like they came to his house.
They did. And there was like these really obscure bands. Like there's this obscure band I think from the West Coast called Minus the Bear, which I like. There's one album that I really like. He had them, and they were so obscure, like sort of proggy, sort of mathy rock that he performed with them. I was like, what is this? This is so cool.
Well, what does he care? He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. He's got a great voice, great pipes still, or at least then.
Yeah, I'm sure he still sounds pretty good.
Yeah, cool. No, a great addition. I feel like they also, they did a lot better in terms of charting than some of these other yacht rock bands. But yeah, fantastic, and sort of crossover in that way too. They had a lot of R&B stuff. The early stuff I mentioned, Sarah Smile.
Right.
And then, Private Eyes and all the other fun songs from the early 80s.
And for the video portion of it too, they kind of leaned into the cheese aspect of it too. Like especially Oates. Like Oates is pretty cheesy. I like him a lot.
He's great.
Man, he's got some like awesome ugly Christmas sweater in one of the videos. Do you remember that one? It's pretty good.
I don't remember what album this is, but it came to me recently, the H2O cover. Do you remember what it looks like? Them staring at each other?
They're red, and they're all like sweaty, and it's red.
It's so weird.
That's been parodied by other bands too.
Yeah.
As an album cover. It's pretty funny.
It has to be. Oh, what's the other one? Maybe is it Private Eyes, or is it Can't Go For That? The one where there's like big letters and G.E. Smith is in there. I can't remember which one it is, but that's a super fun one.
I don't remember which one it is either.
Yeah.
I definitely remember the H2O cover though. That's
that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Super memorable.
So that was your number 3?
Correct.
And my third, my number 3 in the ultimate, one of the best. Are you also a Toto lover like I am?
I mean, I'm an appreciator. I don't know if I would say lover, but I like a lot of it a lot. And I mean, you can't deny the musicianship of it.
Oh my God.
And and the production and all of it. I mean, they're excellent.
Yeah.
And that song has Serengeti and Kilimanjaro as lyrics. I don't think there's another song that has that.
No, and that's kind of the knock on the song, is just how cheesy the lyrics are. I mean,
but the song is awesome.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it's catchy, and everyone loves it.
Everybody loves it. Yeah, it's the third most streamed song ever on. Oh no, wait, from the 80s and 90s on Spotify, behind Wonderwall and 70s, 80s, 90s, I guess. Wonderwall and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of makes sense. I was surprised by Wonderwall being above Bohemian Rhapsody, but
that's a surprise for me too.
Yeah.
I never liked Oasis. They were never a band that I appreciated.
Yeah, it wasn't my band. It was fine. Some of it's fine, but I didn't care for their public persona.
Their attitudes?
I thought they
were the best band on the planet. Like, really?
Yeah.
I think so.
No. You guys are fine. It's okay. You're fine.
You guys are fine. No, I mean, this song, Toto's just got phenomenal writing. This song is a phenomenally written song.
Yeah.
The musicians are off the chart. Of course, they're all session musicians, got together. They're on a ton of different albums. In fact, there's like a lot of cross-pollination here too between Toto and some of these other songs on here as well. Like a few of the members were working on Christopher Cross's second album. They're of course all over Michael Jackson's albums. Like they're just, phenomenal musicians. But the thing that the song, my one knock on this song, my personal, I'm fine with the lyrics, whatever, do what you want to do. Writers write dumb lyrics and they fit things into places and whatever. Who cares? But the song's awesome. But my one knock, and you can tell me what you think about this, is I don't love David Page's voice. And he's the one that's doing the verses. I love Bobby Kimball's voice, who is doing the choruses.
Gotcha.
Love him.
Okay, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Bobby Kimball, he's the one that does Rosanna. He's the one that does Girl Goodbye. Like, he's just got such a soul voice. And
Great
Paige,
voice, yeah.
It's like Paige can hit the pitches, but there's not a lot of like
It's not the same
character to it. And so I just wish Paige wrote the song. So I'm sure he was like, I'm singing my damn song. But like if Bobby Kimball sang the entire song, it would make it might make it the best song ever written if it were Kimball all the way through.
Could be.
But I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I would say I love Toto, but it's not always every song on their album that I'm like, oh, this rips.
Right.
Yeah. But definitely
No, when they're good, they're damn good though.
when they're good, they're damn good. And then shout out to Jeff Porcaro, one of the best drummers who ever lived.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that guy's insane.
Guys, insane. Cool. Shall we move on to your number
2?
2?
This is, I mean, on the nose, I feel, but it's very yacht rock. I like this song a lot. What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers.
She had a place in his life. He never made her think twice. As she rises to her apology, anybody else would surely know. He's watching her go. What a fool believes he sees. The wise man has the power to reason away what seems to be is always better than nothing, and nothing at all. Keep sending him somewhere back in a long ago, where he can still
Classic.
believe.
You gotta love Michael McDonald.
The Doobies. I was thinking, like, do you think that Michael McDonald is the voice of yacht rock?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's at least the background voice of yacht rock, right? He's on all those songs.
He's on all of
I mean, if you have to pick one guy whose voice epitomizes it, it has to be Michael McDonald.
I think so. Yeah, because he's on
so
like
smooth.
he's so smooth.
He's on all of them.
He's
He's
on
on everything.
all of them. Steely Dan, again, Christopher
Yep.
Cross with
Yep.
Loggins. Loggins actually co-wrote with him.
Yep.
Just with a ton of these, it's Michael McDonald in the background. It's because he can do it, and his like voice sounds like 3 voices. It's so thick.
Yeah, he's great. And there's something about it. And I mean, he's kind of, I don't know how I don't want to say ironically loved by people of the next generations. I think
Yes.
people actually like him, but also ironically as well. Like, it's fun to do a Michael McDonald voice. You know what I mean? Like, everyone can do it.
For sure. Yeah. I love Michael.
Yeah, he's great.
I love Michael McDonald and this era of Doobies. I actually found it a little bit weird though. It's kind of like, not weird, but it's sort of like I sort of equated it to a Chicago situation where they had like a type of sound until a key change and then a totally different type of sound here.
Yep.
And of course with Chicago, I'm talking about the Peter Cetera era. Before then,
Sure.
it was all way more classic rock with horns, like, you know,
Yeah.
down,
Like bluesy, more
Down, 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 down,
jammy blues kind of vibe. Yeah.
and then into
Well,
like
then
the
what-
soft rock of Peter Cetera.
Sure. Well, and David Foster, right? Didn't he write?
yeah.
Did he write all the Peter Cetera solo stuff or whatever it was? All those huge mega ballads and stuff.
He did, and I have like a little bit of a grudge with Mr. Foster. He did like the Titanic stuff, all the
He's done so much.
really tough adult contemporary music out there is kind
Yeah,
of him.
uh-huh.
It's him or this
Yeah,
other woman.
absolutely.
Her name escapes me, but like it's him, and
He's got a sound.
he's got a sound. Yeah, but I don't mind the Peter Cetera Chicago either. It's not the best, but it's
Right.
like pretty well written, and he's got a great voice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not my thing personally. I like the older Chicago better, I think. But yeah, no, you can't deny it. I mean, it was big hits that made a lot of money too.
Totally. But I sort of feel the same thing happened here with the Doobies, where you had classic rock, a little bit Southern, very guitar oriented until Michael McDonald comes in late 70s. And then it's like these keyboard groove smooth stuff. And I actually,
Absolutely.
I found the Doobie Brothers a lot because I went through a classic rock phase in high school. And so I found the older stuff first. And so it keeps you running or long train run. Not it keeps you running, long train running. And I don't know. By the hand, take it by the man, pretty much, whatever that's.
Is that them?
What is that? Built me your raft and she's ready for floating. Oh, Mississippi. You know that one. Anyway, so I like them, but I feel like those songs don't have as much staying power as the Michael McDonald ones, which I like. I don't need to hear those songs anymore. They're fine. They're good. But the Michael McDonald songs, I love. Like I could listen to What a Fool Believes forever and be completely happy. And
it's pretty good.
So I got a lot to say about this.
Go for it.
But like the thing that kills me about this song, I don't know if you've ever thought or like noticed this, but you know the turnaround where they go do 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 do.
Yeah.
So the keys are going do 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 do, and at the same time the bass is going the reverse direction, starting from a third below, down now. So it's like this boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and it's not quite half steps. But it's not diatonic either. So it's just this.
Okay.
Just like this it's the best turnaround I've ever heard ever. It just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So what else did I have to say about him? So like, oh yeah, I did mention too that this was co-written. It was Michael McDonald written, co-written by Kenny Loggins. He has his version too. Don't know if you've heard it.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't think I have.
I almost pulled it just to listen, but
I didn't seek it out.
Yeah, it's got its own flavor.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, it's not bad. This one's way better. To me, it's like there's only one way that you could do this song right, and it's this way.
This way, yeah.
But it's a cool version. So
I like the more 80s Kenny Loggins stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's another one who was, like Loggins and Messina is definitely smooth yacht rock stuff, but I like the 80s, like all of his
Danger
mega
Zone
hits.
and yeah, of course.
Yeah, and Footloose and whatever.
Yeah, great writer. Again, all these people are great writers. But so what happened with Doobie Brothers is their lead guitar player, I think it's maybe Tom Johnston or something. He was their guitar player and singer and writer. He got sick. I don't know if it was sick from just like the touring or if there was other stuff going on. Who knows, alcohol, drugs, or whatever. But he basically like was hospitalized, had ulcers and things, and they needed someone else to fill out the tour. And Skunk Baxter, the guitar player for them,
Steely Dan.
Knew him from Michael McDonald.
From
Steely Dan, exactly. So like, hey, why don't we get Michael in, and then we'll just split up the vocals. And then they had a contract where they needed to fulfill another album in 1976, and they're like, and Johnson wasn't back, and so they're like, well, why don't we just use Michael McDonald's songs? Hey, Michael, can we use your songs? And so thus the new era began with Michael McDonald. And they're touring together. I mean, even as recently as like a couple years ago, that lineup is together. So. Yeah, but it's that's a good one. So shall we go on to my number 2?
Yes.
Well, I can't play it because we've already done it. My number 2 is Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts.
Do you have an alternate or
no?
do you
But we're not.
But I mean, it's okay to overlap, right?
Yeah, we're just right because it's our top 5 each, so that's fine. I don't think we have to play it, but that's why one of the reasons why I knew so much about that song. But it
gotcha. Okay, I thought you had it at the top of the brain.
Well, I'm good, but not that good. But I just like that one. It's the granddaddy of all of them, and just
right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and thematically, it makes sense. I mean, we're talking about you just get the visual picture of a nice warm summer day. So my number 2 is Summer Breeze. So we should go to your number 1.
My number 1. I got to do some Steely Dan on a yacht rock playlist, and I chose Peg.
So won't you smile for the camera? I know they're gonna love it. Peg, I like your picture. I keep it with your letter. Done up in blueprint blue. It sure looks good on you. And when you smile for the camera, I know I love you better.
sick song.
I love that song.
Love it.
It's got it all. It's got great bass, great everything. Michael McDonald, tight harmonies. It's awesome.
I'm sure you've seen like the greatest record or V8 that was on VH1 or like Great Records or something series that they did.
Classic albums. Is that what it's
Albums?
called? I think it was called Classic Albums. Yeah, they did one on Asia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the part where they're showing Michael McDonald and like they solo Michael McDonald? It's these three. It's like the tightest harmonies.
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
And they interview him about it too, and he talks about how he had a hard time doing it because it was so tight.
Yes.
And but I mean, obviously, you got it done like a boss because it's Michael McDonald.
Yeah, these are before pitch correction. This is on tape recording. Like
right.
Just that's the thing that floors me. It's like the ability, the musicianship of people of like Steely Dan and who they surrounded themselves with to be able to pull
you had
this
to be
stuff
good.
off. You had to be so good
for sure. Well, they had Porcaro on drums on a lot of stuff. I mean, they only worked with the best, right?
Yeah.
So.
In fact, this is I say this often that the guitar solo on Peg is the most appropriate guitar solo I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's like you can't.
It's really good.
It's hard to do a guitar solo to this song. Like it's almost impossible. And on that Classic Albums special, you hear several other options of like, because they had something like 8 or 9 guitarists come in to try to rip a solo on this thing. And so you hear some of the other versions before you hear this one and you're like, oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. And then you're like, that's the best guitar solo I've heard.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part of the Classic Albums thing, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like it's definitely, how do you do a solo over that unless you do that's on there, right? I mean, they got it.
Yeah. So I love that song. I didn't think there was a few Steely Dan songs that I considered. This was one of them. Dirty Work is a good. I'm a fool to do. Dirty was kind of a nice one, a little laid back, a little dark though.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up not going with it. I stayed away from Steely Dan with this one. I felt kind of they're a little bit too jazzy, I guess.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
This one's more.
Still
this one's got a
smooth
shuffle.
though.
This one's super smooth, yeah. But they stayed off my list. But they were definitely.
They're also featured heavily in that Yacht Rock web series I was talking about.
I'm sure. Yeah,
I had to put them in there.
Well, yeah, and all the players on this are like in all these other songs.
It's all
anyway.
the same guys. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. It's pretty funny. It was like a crew of people.
Well, so my number one song though is also a repeat. It is What a Fool Believes. That is my number one.
Ooh, yeah.
Best yacht rock song again, so we won't play through that. But so a couple crossovers on this one. I didn't know how you would approach it.
Yeah. I went for smoothness. I had a couple alternates. I had Ride Like the Wind as my, like number, I guess it would be number 6 or whatever. I had a little Kenny Loggins in the mix and, some of the other ones like Ambrosia was on my short list, that kind of stuff. And
sure.
There's a lot that can be considered yacht rock too, even like Captain and Tennille.
I know. Love will keep us together.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just so goofy.
Yeah, I know. It's the wrong kind of cheesy for me for this playlist.
For sure. I'll tell you did you consider one of my alts was Just the Two of Us, which is Bill Withers, of course.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love Bill Withers a lot.
He's great.
Yeah.
I had what did I have? I had Lovely Day.
Yeah.
As, I don't know if that really counts as yacht rock, but it felt kind of like the flavor to me, so I had that on my short list as well.
Maybe Ain't No Sunshine could have worked. It's a little bit too on the R&B, and it's a little darker song, but still has that vibe.
That song's awesome though.
Song is awesome.
Bill Withers great. I love Bill Withers.
Yeah, fantastic. The other one that I had as an alternate was Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, which I thought was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that would have been surprising.
Yeah, but it just has that groove.
But yeah, it definitely fits.
Yep. Yeah, it fits. Not a lot of their songs would fit, but that definitely I thought was on the brink maybe. What else? So I also looked. There's a few others that I thought maybe might be on the list, or others might want to put on the list that maybe we missed. Did you have any others that you thought might work?
I had. Let me see. I had a couple other doobies. I like Taking It to the Streets and
keeps you running.
This is it by Loggins.
For sure.
I had a couple other like borderline ones. I was flirting with "Sail On Sailor" by the Beach Boys. I don't know if that really counts as yacht rock, but it's about a nautical theme, you know.
yeah.
But
So it's like
so it didn't make the cut.
What is it like?
But it's a smooth tune.
So it's like Sloop Johnny B. Isn't that a nautical?
I guess so. This one is more smooth. Do you know that song, "Sail On Sailor"?
I'm
pretty
trying to picture it. Was that one that came
It's
later?
like a later period. Yeah, later period Beach Boys. It's got great harmonies, of course. Give it a listen. I'm not going to sing it for you because I'm not going to be able to do it justice. But
you don't want to sing it?
Yeah, it's a good one. No.
I'll tell you some of the other ones that I saw. Hello, It's Me by Todd Rundgren.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. Uh-huh.
There was, of course, this one we might get pushed back on, I thought. Reminiscing by Little River Band. And Reminiscing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like you're definitely like bobbing on the waves a little bit at the sunset type of song.
And they're in the canon of the yacht rock. Another one I had was Baker Street.
Oh yeah,
by Jerry Rafferty. Yeah. Yep, that's the one.
For some reason, that song always like made me feel very weird, like very like like it's kind of a spooky song.
I see. Okay,
I don't know why. But it just did. But yeah, that came up for me too. I couldn't because of how spooky it was. I couldn't put it on my list.
Fair enough.
Also saw Brandy. I don't love that song, but it is kind of a yacht. It's an up tempo one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't love it. And then kind of another dark horse because it's a little odd for even them, and it's definitely a little dark, but it does have a groove to it. Is I Can't Tell You Why by the Eagles.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't tell you why. Like it's definitely, I think it's in that genre, but that was one that I thought might also
I tried
work.
to avoid the Eagles because there was like a Steely Dan Eagles beef and
you chose a side.
The Dan. Yeah, definitely. I choose Steely Dan over the Eagles pretty much every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was because they name check them. What's that in that song FM, the Steely Dan song FM? They talk about the Eagles, and it was like a slam to the Eagles, you know. So, anyways, I had a kind of a weird pick on my list too. Lights by Journey. I feel like that one's borderline, but it is very smooth.
When the lights go down in the city, that one.
Yep, that's the one. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Huh? I never would have thought that.
Yeah, it's just smooth. I guess it's
super
it's
smooth.
Not really too yacht rocky though.
No, but I think that works. You're out on your boat. You're having a cocktail, and maybe you're in the San Francisco Bay, and maybe there's a ball game at AT&T Park.
There you go.
They actually, I think that's the song they play at the end of every Giants game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, so
right.
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
You're familiar.
I'm familiar. I think if I'm wrong, sorry, SF people, if I'm wrong, but it's one of the Journey songs. I think it's that one. Yeah. The other thing was, like, I ran into some other one, like, yeah, some of the other ones that, I saw some suggestions for Dan Fogelberg. Do you know him?
I know the name, but
leader
I
of
can't.
the band. I am a living legacy to the leader of the band. There's that one. There's a song called New Old Lang Syne, which was pretty famous. He was kind of underground, but had some hits. Mm-hmm. Had some suggestions for him. I knew him as a kid too, but
okay. I missed out on that. I saw him when I was doing some of my research, but it didn't resonate with me.
Yeah, it didn't resonate
I guess maybe
with
because
me.
I never really heard it too much growing up, you know.
Too adult contemporary. It was like too much on that side of things. Also, let's see. I saw suggestions for like Rosanna. That didn't make sense. There's a song called Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was a little bit too...
I don't know if I remember that one.
Had a little bit too much, too many like changes. It was like too jagged. But anyway, a lot of good ones. Did you listen to this song? Do you like yacht rock? Is this in your...
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate it for sure. I mean, I like Steely Dan. I liked all the songs that I picked, you know. But I don't know if I would sit back and crack open a yacht rock playlist, you know, on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, maybe, I guess. It depends what you're doing. If I'm on a boat.
Right, if you're on the boat. I think I was more of a latecomer to this. I mean, I knew some of the old... I wasn't really a Steely Dan guy until probably my 20s. And then...
same.
You don't really appreciate Michael McDonald until kind of later on, too, because if in the 80s when you listen to him, if that's not your style, like it's not necessarily the pop stuff that the kids would be listening to. So,
Right.
you know, yeah, we would probably be listening to more like new wave stuff, I think at that point. But they more appealed to our parents' generation, I would think. So it wasn't until
Right.
later on that I really appreciated them.
Yeah, same. Like I grew up listening to like Madonna and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Cool. Well, good list and and a good playlist. And I think that's it. Unless you have any other any thoughts or thoughts or
No,
opinions
I
on
think
this
we
stuff.
covered it.
I think we covered it. I think
Pretty good yacht rock playlist.
for sure we came up with the ultimate playlist. And
Yep.
so, all right, that's it. So for Briggs, I'm Matt, and you've been watching or listening to Ultimate Playlist. See you next time. Goodbye.